What's going on, guys? Jacob Worth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas, talking to you guys today about something else I want to bring up about, tourism and hospitality here in Las Vegas, and particularly when it comes to gaming. And those of you that, gamble a fair amount on the Strip, even if you don't gamble a lot, this is probably going to hit home for you. For some of you, because I've talked changes this year, Vegas has gone through a lot of changes the last couple of years. Obviously, some things that have been introduced that are brand new, like the whole paying for parking, people are not happy about resort fees and those kind of things going up. There's another change I want to talk about that's been going on for some time, and it particularly affects those of you who like to gamble. And this is one that, definitely upset a lot of people as well. And it's when the casinos, particularly on the Strip, of course, 'cause that's where a lot of the change in Vegas, actually starts, is on the Strip. That's where a lot of the change starts. And then, sometimes we'll actually start to spread to other areas, might spread to downtown. Off-Strip properties, oftentimes aren't quite as affected as much by the casinos. They can't really do what a lot of the casinos do on the Strip just because they're not able to get away with it. And this one was actually a change in Blackjack. When Blackjack, a lot of the properties end up going from 3-2 Blackjack to 6-5 Blackjack. And that's one that I know was not sitting well with a lot of people because obviously, it cut back on people's ability to earn. Those of you who don't know, 3-2 Blackjack was a game where say you bet $100, you could actually win 150. When the casinos changed to 6-5 Blackjack, you bet $100, you actually win 120. So, that's if you win, right? Because you're basically playing, one-on-one with the dealer, oftentimes in Blackjack. That's why a lot of people like the game, is because it's kind of like, it's a one-on-one game. People like it better than sometimes other games. And Blackjack has been popular for decades. I believe it was invented in France, in the 18th century or something like that. But it's been popular for a long time. And I think it was a study back in the 50s that was done, I think it was even by the military, that showed that, the house really didn't have as much of an advantage in Blackjack as it did in other games. And that's, everybody knows the saying, the house always wins, right? The house always gets their money. Well, Blackjack was popular because that was where the house didn't have as good as an advantage, and there were strategies you could use that actually would help you, give you a better chance at winning. And there's a book that came out, I believe it was in the 60s, called Beat the Dealer. I'll link it down below. Try to find it on Amazon, link it down below. You guys want to check that out. And it gave strategies to help players, give them better odds, at least statistically, of, beating the casinos, being able to win a good chunk of money, in that process. And over the decades, Blackjack just kept growing and growing and growing and growing in popularity, and it became, just a game that people like. It's also known as 21, and some of you might remember the movie, I think it was 2008, the movie 21, about the MIT, counting team that was counting cards, and winning money and all that kind of stuff. And, some people have tried to do that. Plenty of people have tried to do that before. They've gotten caught and gotten in trouble if you're trying to count cards. And it's obviously challenging to do if you're going to try to beat a casino. But, the popularity of the game kept going up and up and up. And, obviously the casinos, they recognize this, they know this. So they started, kind of changing the rules over time, actually. They started chipping away things here and there they could do to try to help give them an advantage. And then one of those was the variation of changing it from 3-2 Blackjack to 6-5 Blackjack. That was one of the things that I really didn't sit well with people because, your potential earnings just went down 60%. Like I said, instead of winning 150, you can now win 120. So that's $30 less you could win, every single time. And if you're playing at length, that's a lot of money that, you're not able to win as much anymore. But for the casinos, they like it because it's not as much money that they're probably going to wind up having to pay out. And there's been some debate about, the change, because ever since they made the change, I'll link an article down below. Actually, there's a good article that talks about a lot of this that I'm talking about. We're talking with you guys right now about how, revenue from Blackjack went down, during some of these changes. And some people say that's because, of the casinos now in other states in the country. But others say, it's just the fact that the odds aren't as good for the players anymore. They can't win as much money, and they don't like it. They don't like it, so what they do, they vote with their wallet, and they either go play a different game or they go play somewhere else where they feel like they can get better odds, where they can find 3-2 Blackjack somewhere. They just go play somewhere else is what they do. So, it's another thing that, a lot of people are not fond of. It's another change that Vegas has made. Switching to 6-5 Blackjack is probably up there with upsetting people, right up there with parking and the resort fees going up. Now, granted, not everybody who comes to Vegas does gamble, or even if they may only like certain games, because Blackjack has been very popular. But I think in recent years it's only been second to I think Baccarat is the most popular game. That's really popular among the Asian tourists. Baccarat is, but Blackjack, plenty popular game, but switching it to 6-5 really did irritate a lot of people, and especially, because parking and the resort fees affect everyone staying at the hotel. Parking affects a lot of people, but blackjack's probably not quite as much because, you know, not everybody comes to Vegas to gamble. So, you know, tell me what you guys think about this one. You know, in Vegas, a lot of these strip properties start switching from 3-2 to 6-5. You know, what do you do? Do you just go play somewhere else? You know, do you stay in your home state and play at a casino there? You know, what do you guys do? What have you done instead? Have you switched to another game? I just want to hear your guys' thoughts about this, because this is another big thing that, you know, has changed, that Vegas has changed over the years, and a lot of people are not a big fan of some of the changes that are being made. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you like the content and you're coming on vacation or you're trying to move to Vegas, need some help, you can go down below. You can click the link on Clarity. You can talk to me one-on-one if you'd like. I've already helped several people already. If you need, if you want to support me over on Patreon, you can do that as well. I'm going to have more videos over there that I do not release here, and other videos there that I just release early, so you get to see them first before everybody else here on the channel does. So tell me what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I'm Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.